Hello everyone. How is everyone doing today? Hope you all are having a fantastic day. Sorry if my head's turning this way. I moved the chat over here because I got a new monitor. I found I think a 24-inch curved monitor at the thrift store with no charger. And I was like, mine. I ordered a charger off of Amazon and it came in today. And I've spent the last like hour or so setting it up and moving my desk around, and I'm very excited. And I got a very nice monitor. And it was like 25 bucks for a really well kept together curved monitor, 24-inch curved monitor. And I got it from the thrift store, and it looked in pretty good condition. Like there was other stuff in there. Like there's another monitor that wasn't curved, but it was another nice monitor. And it's like, I can only justify having one more monitor. There's another one, nice one too, and then a few other things. It was all like well kept together, so I figured it was a good bet. Um, I just couldn't find the charger to it, so I went and ordered a charger, replacement charger, and it works. And I'm so happy it works. So happy it works. I can't wait to like start playing like StarCraft on it and stuff to see how nice it looks. But yeah, so I have 3 monitors. I put the Go board in the center, so it's like right here. And put the camera right there, so I'm mostly looking here, but I'll be turning to read chat right here. And I also was able to move the chat. And this is actually more screen space because the other one was like this big, and now it's like that big. So I have more screen space to read the chat and also adjust my sources and stuff. So I actually did need another monitor. But yeah. I'm able to read chat a little bit better without cropping some of the chat off and without blocking my sources now. So I'm able to manage Streamlabs and the Go board a little bit easier. And now I could actually keep my students' information up on the third monitor without actually blocking chat and stuff like it was before, because I was just ignoring chat before. So it should be a little bit easier. One of these days, I want like a 24-inch monitor turned sideways, like where I have monitor stands, so I can have like an internet browser and Discord open, and layer them on top of each other because they're both kind of wide. And that'll be nice one of these days, which I could probably do it with this setup now. I just gotta take the middle monitor, turn it, put the left monitor in the center. But like, I don't know. That's more stuff. Right now, I'm happy. I'm happy right now. I got a monitor. I got a new monitor. And I got it at the Clossi price, which is 70% off. Got it like 70% off of what it is like new. I think it's like 120 or 130 new. And I got it for like 25 bucks plus a replacement charger for like, I don't know, 15 bucks. So yeah, 60 or 70% off. So that's the way to buy stuff right there. Thrift stores, man, they're great. All right. Any 19 to 15 Qs in chat? We need a volunteer. Need a volunteer. Not yet. No volunteer yet. All right, we still just started, so we'll still give it a little bit. But we do need a volunteer. Yeah, has it anyone have an interesting weekend? I know I talked yesterday about how I got my shot, so that was miserable. But about to start traveling again, so that's gonna be fun. I already got 2 trips planned, one to Florida and another one, potentially a backpacking trip of the Smoky Mountains with another friend. And if not the backpacking trip with him, then I'll just go see him in Ohio. But yeah, couple trips planned already. and then also can start going to Go Club and play Go in person. I haven't played Go in person aside from with my wife for like 2 years. You have no idea how much this bugs me. like I like my wife is great, but you want variety. You want Go players. You want someone who could actually beat you. um, I have not played Go in person in 2 years if you don't include my wife. Which my wife is great. She actually learned the game to do stuff that I enjoy. Um, so I can't knock her on that. Like I really appreciate her learning how to play the game. But I kind of want a challenge. Never played on a Go board at all. You guys are missing out. You've no idea. Like you guys came in at a good time where it was like growing because of COVID and stuff, but you've no idea how great playing Go in person is. Got to find a Go club soon. Like hopefully in the next year or two, things will start getting back. Yeah, yeah. So imagine. So actually, when I was running my Go club, the original members left and I took it over, and it was me and one other guy for several months. And this guy was a brand new player. And it was me and him for several months. And then after a few months, another guy joined. And it was just us three every weekend for like a year. And I spent every weekend teaching them how to play in order to get them to single digit queue. And finally, they were single digit queue, and it felt like, okay, now we can actually play a full game. Because imagine being a Dawn player playing an 18 queue. It's not quite a challenge yet, but you got to work with what you got. Just be happy that you have an opponent at that point. And then now, like 10 years later, we have like a dozen members or so. So it takes time. One person at a time. That's how you build a Go club. One person at a time. Uh, we went to we went to conventions. Like what works for us is we go to conventions and we teach people how to play, and we just hope for like one person to become a regular. We'll be happy with it. So yeah, I started with one member, and then I had two members, not including myself, and then eventually had more and more and more. And then I see like the big city ones and stuff like Ohio, Seattle, New York, and they're like, we have like 30 to 60 people show up, and I'm like, all right. Any 19Q to 15Q in either of the chats want to volunteer to be our opponent today for the video? The Clossi gang, yeah. All you have to do is just meet up regularly. It's more than I had. Just meet up once a week in person and start playing. Like we met up at a coffee shop. Now we meet at a restaurant. The owner likes Go, so he gives us like 10% off our food for a meeting at the restaurant. So that's nice. 19Q to 15Q, need a volunteer. 19Q to 15Q. That's fine, Squeaky. What's your OGS username? We can see how it goes. All right. I see. A lot of 9x9 and 13x13. Um, oh, you've only played 50 games. Ooh, here's a 19x19. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Have you watched the Clossi approach series up to this point? Have you watched any of the Clossi approach series? I love this picture. Oh, nice, nice, cool. I love this. So I don't know if you guys can read it, but it says, "Good morning, God. God has let me live another day, and I'm about to make it everybody's problem." I love that. I love that. God has decided to let me live another day, to all of your detriment. All right. So yeah, we can play. We can play. Doot 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 doot. Boop boop. Random. Boop boop. Send challenge. And then we'll pause the game. No worries.
Game started.
All right. Pause
Game
game.
paused.
All right. And do our little greeting. Hello, have fun. All right, all right, all right. Hello everyone, we are back with another Clossi approach video. We are at game 5 of the 19Q to 15Q section. Again, to reiterate what I've been saying, 19Q to 17Q, unfortunately we didn't have enough volunteers, so we had to make it 19Q to 15Q. However, the only difference is 19Q to 17Q, you just work on defense first and big moves. But at 17Q to 15Q, you add on offense timings. So 19Q to 15Q, it's defense first is our highest priority. We'll attack if our opponents don't make bases or something, or if they invade our area or moyo. But other than that, we'll just play big moves. All right. And thank you, Squeaky Yellowbow, for volunteering. Squeaky it doesn't have a lot of experience with 1919, still working on the small boards, but has volunteered to try to help us make another video. So thank you for being willing to play. So let's go ahead and resume the game.
Resumed.
And we are white. All right. So we'll do the opposite. We'll do a 3-4 point. That way we get all the stuff. All right. 3-3 invasions. We're not going to see the end of that, I'm sure. This is not going to be... this is going to be very common. Okay, so what I like to do is if both sides... So first off, you can choose direction of play of the widest side. But what I like to do to this is just block in my side, so that way I can develop, because I love developing. As long as there's not, like, already stuff over there. Even if there was, I might still do it. But you can also say that the left side is the widest. So I'm just going to block this way. And there's two ways to play this. We can double Hane, which I think I've showed in the Joseki video, or we can Nobi for Sente, and I want Sente here, because, you know, I just do. I want the extension or enclosure. Probably I'll just choose an enclosure. All right, and then we Hane, and he blocks. So again, we know our Joseki's from the Joseki video. So now I have two options. I can play an extension, or I can play an enclosure. I'm going to continue on this side because it's still really wide. It's still like a wide side. I'm going to choose an extension. I think it'll make it easier to support this group if I get closer to it. So I'll choose a 5-space extension. I could also choose right here, which is 5-space jump from these 3 stones if I wanted to work with these more in the corner. It doesn't really matter. There's many options, and it doesn't matter a lot at this level. Just pick something on the wide side. All right, and he picked his wide side, and now the next open side is the right side, so we can wedge or we can approach. Let's see. I know a lot of players like to approach nowadays, but the wedge is just fine, so we can give our opponent a position and potentially learn how to invade him. Or we can just approach and just play out a Joseki. Where's my quarter? I need my quarter. There it is. All right, heads approach, tails wedge. Doo 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 doo. Boom, tails. We're gonna wedge. All right, right in the center, because it doesn't matter at this level. Does not matter at this level. What matters is that we're playing basics. We have to play basics. That's what we need to do. All right, so we capped. So we're getting we're near a stone, so we need to make a base. So one stone jumps two, make a base. Doesn't matter which side. All right, he's surrounding. Do I want one more? You know, if I'm uncertain, let's go ahead and just play one more. So I can play here, or I can play a slide. Um, let's talk about the slide. We can do the slide, so we can just talk about it in the review. There's some stuff to learn here. But if you just played here, it's also fine. You can also play a one-space jump because you already have a two-space jump. And two-space jumps can leave some Aji. All right, this move is Sente, which is what I wanted to... This is why I played it, because I wanted to talk about this in the review. So I'm going to respond. Because there's a Tsuji right there. And we'll look at that in the review. All right. So far, Black's playing quite well. All right. So now we're okay. So do I have any weak groups? No. Does he? No. So big move. No open corners. No open sides. Probably do a 3-3, but I think largest framework is fine. I would say 3-3 if you want to say that's as big as an open side. Otherwise, just play largest framework. And it looks like the left side and the top right for Black. Well, guess what? When we're at Moyo versus Moyo, we can build while reducing. So in this case, a shoulder hit would be perfect. Third line to third line, shoulder hit would be perfect. Build up the left while pushing the top right down. And we are going to get a position. But just playing the largest framework. I think a 3-3, corner enclosure right here, a 1-point jump right here, fix the cut right here, or shoulder hit. I think all of those are fine. All right, so he didn't actually touch me, so I'm going to settle first and then probably jump. Okay. So I want to jump, but I don't have a Liberty, so let's check. Wedge, Atari, connect, connect, cut. That is not a ladder. If I Atari this way, that is a fight in an area I control, so I'm not afraid of it. Okay? So following our basics. That is only one cutting point in an area we control, and we're not going to die, because we'll just connect on the third line, and he'll have to run. So not afraid of a fight in our area. All right, so our shape for that is this. We could also play this one. I think this one's better here. We could also just connect. Connecting actually looks pretty good. Yeah, let's just connect. We have a couple options. Let's just pick a solid one, right? And we have a base. All right, still the left side's the biggest, so I'm gonna play another shoulder hit. I could have played a 1-point jump, but I'm not afraid of one cutting point because I control the area. And I'm pushing his down while building mine. So it's his job to play in my area until his area becomes bigger. I'm going to keep playing in mine. Ooh, interesting. Fancy stuff. So defense first. Probably. I don't think we know the clamp yet, so just defense first. I have a cutting point. Let's fix the cutting point. I could also play Tiger's Mouth right here. I think it's a little bit better, but we don't have to play perfect at this level. I'm sure most people would just defend the cutting point. All right. Mine's still bigger, so I'm going to keep playing on it. Don't push from behind. Knight's move to get ahead. Could also go here because the cuts actually don't do anything, but it's fine. I think maybe those cuts are tricky, but we could have also played that 1 point jump. All right, now let's go back to pushing him. And it looks like he's on the center line, but I'm not. But he doesn't have an edge, and I do. So I have like 3 lines. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if he's on the center line, I have to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to be like right here to be equal. So I know that mine is bigger just by the distance between the lines. So I'm going to keep playing on mine. Keep playing on the largest framework. Consistently playing the basics. Block. All right. I have a cutting point here. This does affect this cutting point, so I'm going to defend. If you don't know it, Joseki knowledge comes with study. So make sure you understand your Josekis. I know that I can ignore this cut because of research. If you don't know it, then you can't play this Joseki. I think it would be good to do your research first, or ask a teacher, ask for help, etc., etc. But I know that this stone activates that cut, so I defended the cut. Defense first. Like I said, knowing your Joseki, not just the variation, but knowing the why as well, it's basically cheating at this level. Knowing Josekis is cheating in the opening at this level. All right, so I still think mine is bigger, so I'm going to block with a shoulder hit. And then after that happens, then this will be the big area. We'll have to deal with that next. All right, so one more block. And now black should be the biggest. All right, now black's is getting big. So mine is sealed. I'm not worried about it anymore. If they invade, I can go for the second line now that there's no escape routes. So I'm fine dealing with invasions now. So I have 2 options. I can reduce right here. I can invade, or push right here, which is kind of invasion because it's cuttable, but any of those. So I need a dice. I need to just roll a dice. Let's say 3-3. Everybody loves 3-3, right? Let's do 3-3. All right. And Joseki is slide, push or slide, basically. So I'm going to slide. Okay. Yeah, just do Joseki. Don't see any reason not to do it. I was checking cutting points and forcing moves. Don't see any reason that anything out here will affect the result here. So it seems pretty okay to do. All right. I know the variation, so I can cut confidently because I just know this Joseki. Go here, he Ataris, I take, he Hanes, I go here, he Ataris, I take, and I just know the sequence from my studies. This is important. Study is important. Study your Josekis. 50% play, 50% study. Study is go problems, reviewing your games, looking at watching lectures, studying, learning your Josekis, all that stuff. 50% play, 50% study. All right, and now I'm alive. I'm perfectly fine, so let's go ahead and push from this side. And now I think we're about to start Yosei, so attach. So let's respond to that first. Let's just fix. Make sure I can't be cut. That's all I really care about. All right, let's go to the second line. Start my Yosei. There's some questions right here because it's two space jumps. So maybe it's a little much. I don't know if this is double digit Q. I just wanted to talk about it. But I think two space jumps is a little bit nervous. There's a lot of Aji right here that maybe we cannot read at this level. So just be careful with two space jumps. It's pretty scary if you don't know the variations. Okay, push, 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 push. We're just pushing. That's all we're doing. Push. I want to fix. I'm gonna fix here because that way when he blocks, I have a tiger's mouth instead of fixing here when he blocks, I have a Hane. Hanes are cuttable. Boop. All right. Running out of pushes. Running out of pushes. So I'm gonna do this one because it also stops his push. But pretty much getting out of pushes. Then we're gonna be on big moves. Ooh, nice, nice, clever. Because defense first. Because whoa.
Undo requested. Undo granted.
Oops. Yeah. So, cutting points first. I kind of just defense first. I didn't even consider walking in and letting him walk in because defense first. Now we're getting to big moves, big Gote moves. I think this is a big Gote move. Someone suggested S4, but if I S4, he blocks, I connect, he connects, and it kind of damages this side. Compared to just Nobi down, doesn't damage as much. Now I think blocking the monkey jump is big. Actually, there's a peep and then walk back. It's also big. This is a double Atari, but I don't know. Yeah, like I'm ignoring this because I know it's Gote, but I don't think I also played this, which is Gote, so I should be being consistent. I should play this one at this level. We can talk about the value of Sente later. But yeah, so this one's big. This one's big for this level, but probably at single digit Q, we're not going to do these anymore. And it's wrapping up pretty well. I expect an all or nothing move. I don't know, maybe he won't. But you should expect your opponent to play an all or nothing move. If you have an area this large, you should expect them to invade. And you shouldn't be afraid of it because you should know how to deal with it. And if you don't, then you need them to invade you so you can learn. It's better to lose a game and learn how to deal with this invasion than it is to hope and pray they don't invade you and then be scared of it and never learn how to deal with it. Like it's better to lose and learn and improve at the game. So don't be afraid of it. If you have no escape routes, there's no invasion. Poke. Oh yeah, I forgot. I already forgot. I just said I was gonna do this. Defense first. Defense first. Defense first. It's okay. Just play defense first. All right. Shaping up to be pretty good. Check my cutting point. Atari. Ooh. If I go right here, Atari, connect, Atari, take, Atari. It's a goose to Tsuji. What is a goose to Tsuji? A goose to Tsuji is a Clossi to Tsuji due to our fun chat and stuff. We came up with our own Go term where in the liberty filling stage where we start blocking and filling liberties, sometimes in Yosei, when you block or do something, it activates a cutting point. Unfortunately, the only way to learn to see this is to die by it many times over. So there's no shortcut to seeing this. But if you want some ideas, is every time you're playing a block or anything with these cutting points, just double check the cutting points when the liberties change. That is my advice. So I don't think there is a good way to block this. If I go here, he plays here, I play here, he plays here, there's a double peep. So unfortunately, there's no way to stop this next push from being Sente. Unfortunate. So let's just do this. There's no way to stop it from being Sente, so he's gonna get Sente. It's fine. Yep, gotta watch out for those. Now, if you did get cut off by that, if let's say you blocked here and you cut, you would want to give it the 2 stones, not the 4 stones. So don't just play it out. When they cut, you need to check. At that point, you should know, oh, it does work. Because once they cut, you double and triple check, and then you're like, oh, I made a mistake. Oh, he's going in. All right. Step 1, stop the eyes. Or I say step 1. It's step 3, stop the eyes. Stop the eye space. Yep, this is expected. We should not fear this. Stop the eye space. Stop the eye space from the second line. Kick him out of the corner because there's annoying eyes in the corner. And then we just attack him from the second line. And we force him up into our gigantic wall. Because he's already surrounded, so we're at step 3. Okay, keep him out of the corner. Defense first. Defense first. Defense first. Be very wary of leaving stuff that they can use to live. Like, oh, I want to cut. But then he starts a ko, maybe. Not in this case, no, but sometimes yes. Actually, yeah. If I go here, he plays Atari, connect, and then cut. Go down, there. So it looks like just one eye still, but still, it's a ko, and it looks scary. I think he's dead, but we're just gonna respawn as long as they respawn. I think he's dead as it stands, but we're not worried about gaining a point from this yet. We'll do that at single digit queue. For now, just respawn, it's fine. As long as he plays and you play, then you don't lose any points. Now, if he plays elsewhere and you play again, then you lose a point because you feel your own point. All right, backing over here. Block. Cutting point is good. Just watch your cutting points. Watch your cutting points. It's the only thing you have to read is life and death and cutting points. All right. I'm just going to fix my other cut. Defense first, and he'll die naturally. As long as I play defense first and stay strong, he'll die naturally. This is my area. It's good effort, though. Really good effort. Block, defense first. We're okay. Let's see, walk down, Atari. Atari, take, turn, there. 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2. Yeah, we're good. Is there a Tari there? Is there a clamp? Hane, there. I think now there. I think we're good. I don't
10,
see anything.
9, 8,
Don't see anything, so I gotta trust my
7,
reading.
6.
Now I have Sente
5.
finally. I can go take. Okay, that is only half a point because we're fighting over 1 point, so you consider that half a point. So I don't have to respond. Boop. Boop. Big move. I think this is a bigger move. Yeah, this is bigger. I'm doing. I should. It doesn't matter. Just play a big move. I'm thinking too much. I'm thinking too much. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Don't think too much. As long as this cut doesn't work. I've been reading this cut over and over and over. Like, I'm reading this multiple times. Because I see it, it doesn't work, and I trust myself. Alright. Now I don't have to read it anymore. But you have to trust your reading. You have to trust your reading. It's like I smell something, but there's nothing there. Block. Block. Boom. He actually did really well considering he doesn't have a lot of experience with 1919. Fixed my cut. He played really well. Co-fight! Alright. First look for any local threats. Okay, none. Now we just look for big threats, like this one. Poke. Most important thing is we don't lose a point. Because this, he has to respond. So I lose a point, he loses a point. Okay, now take. Now he finds a co-threat. Fighting over a half-point co. Okay, so he gives it up. Make sure this doesn't activate the cut. Nobi, make a base. He has nowhere to go. All right. Boop.
Pass.
All right, double check any cutting points. Getting cutting points. Dame. In real life, you'd fill Dame, but make sure the Dame doesn't activate a cutting point. It doesn't. Find all the borders. Make sure we didn't miss anything. Make sure we didn't miss anything. All right, looks good.
Remove the dead stones.
Thanks for the game. Accept.
You have won.
All right, looks like 86 and a half. Review this
Review
game.
started.
Alrighty. How did we win? How did we win? It's actually one thing that actually gave us a big lead, which is we played on the largest framework. That was the biggest mistake, Squeaky. Was you let me play on the largest framework and you were playing on the second largest. If I'm on the biggest and you're on the second biggest, I will get more every exchange. For every time I play on the biggest, you play on the second biggest. I play on the biggest, you play on the second biggest. I play on the biggest, you play the second biggest. It just more and more and more and more and more different. You needed to play on the biggest. Okay, so 3-3 is fine. So this Shoseki actually has a lot of variations. Maybe this isn't. I don't know if I talked about this in the Joseki video, but it has a lot of variations, but pretty much you can ignore this. If you want to respond, you can go here and then make your base. Maybe jump 4. That's a very safe way to play. But you want to stop doing this like as soon as possible. Maybe you can get to like single digit Q doing this. Or maybe 12Q. you should stop doing this. This might be the safe way for now, but eventually you want to learn how these work. So I just know how it works. Black can get out like this. Black can activate a cut like this. And then we make a base. So there's many ways I can fight here. So I'm not really afraid of it. It's definitely a fight that I can handle. But if you are, then maybe just fix is better. Or just play a double Hane. Double Hane is really simple. It looks complex. It's like, oh, cutting points. But actually, it's just here. Give up one and kill these 2 stones. They have nowhere to go. They're just dead. And you get the whole corner. So here's a very easy one to play. If your opponent does this and then runs, defense first, go down to threaten. Like if he surrounds you, then you just kill the corner. You can do that. Actually, this is just better. This one's just better. That and then that. The corner just dies. Okay, so he has to block. And then you can make your base. He plays here. You can make your base. And he still has to live. And then he has 2 stones. You're alive on both sides. And he has a weak group in the center. This is like the worst result that you can get as long as you play defense first. Okay? And that's assuming you don't go for the kill. Because black actually can't surround you. You can just run away. So you actually can kill the corner if this happens. But the worst you can get if you play defense first is this one. And black has to live. If black doesn't, the corner's dead. Okay? Doesn't matter. Still dead. So yeah, as long as you know that, those 2 things, double Hane looks scarier than it is. But it's actually really simple. It's just... boom. Now, let's say they connect. 1, there's a ladder. 2, you can just run. And they still have to live in the corner. And then if they try to run, you just make a base. And they have a weak group, and you have 2 living groups. You can also put more pressure. It's just a fight. You just have to be... you have to know that you have to have confidence in the fight. And if you're pretty much alive on both sides and they're weak in the center, then it's going to be good for you. Or it should be good for you in theory. So yeah, I think that's all you need to know for that. If you really can't play either of those, this is the very simple one. Okay? This is a net. If he tries to cut you at any time before this, it leads back into the double Hane sequence where he just dies. If you just don't know Joseki, then you should be playing like this to make your base. If you don't know Joseki. So I don't think this is too hard to handle. Maybe this Joseki's too high level for this level. I wasn't sure. It seemed... I think it's okay. I don't know. If you do your research, it should be okay. But hopefully that gives you some ideas. And of course, if like you can always get like if you play it and you mess it up, you can always bring it to me on the supporter review days, or ask someone in the Discord to help you out, or ask on forums or whatever. Like many people are willing to help you out with Joseki. So just game reviews and study for Josekis. Josekis repeat so often you can just ask questions over and over and over and learn it. So I played this. This is kind of like the Chinese opening. It's 5 space from the 3-4 point. I could have also did 5 space from thickness. I could have also played 4 space for base if I wanted to be super safe. All of those I think are fine at this level. I also was considering this or this. Just, I think high because I want to put more emphasis on the left and the top at the same time. But it's fine. It's fine. All of it, it's really not important as long as you're playing on the big side. That's what's important. That was nice. I played a wedge. I flipped a coin for it. Didn't care. Here, I kind of want to see like here or here from black. So maybe like here. And then like that. This actually looks quite nice. It's easy for white to settle, but you also get points on top. You get some influence in the corner. And then you can go like play on the left, like here or here. Or here. And it's pretty standard. At single digit Q, the Joseki you need to learn is here. That's a single digit Kyujiseki. So I hope that's not too complex. If you go through it move by move on your own, it should like all the moves should make sense. Okay, but that's the single digit Kyujiseki. For double digit Qs, one stone jumps two, make a base. Okay, so I just made a base. This one, I don't know if it's a 19 to 15Q, but I want to talk about it because it is a move I think is really nice to know. A large Knight's move. So we know this one. We know a basic slide. Okay, we know a basic slide. But if we play a large Knight's move slide instead of small Knight's move, and they block with the 3/3, there is a Tsuji right here. Okay? If you try to walk up, boom, boom, boom. Oops. If you try to block, boom, boom, boom. Oops. Boom, boom. Oops. Okay? So you want to block like this. Boom, boom, cut, extend. That's where this stone comes into play. It takes the liberty, and you win the capturing race. So if you block with a 3/3, there is a cutting point right here. I played it because I wanted to show you guys that. I think it's a cool shape to remember. If you don't remember it perfectly, it's okay. You can always come back, rewatch the video, or maybe you learn it in the future. It's not the most important thing to learn. Right now, it's just make your base, expand your ice base. You can also play like this or like this. I'm going to advise you to just play this. Simply because a 2-space jump followed by a 2-space jump actually has a lot of Aji. Like, there's this, which has a lot of questions. Sometimes there's this and this. Not on this board maybe, but even just this already is looking questionable. Like, it's very easy to get cut. So you got to be very careful with that. So if you have a 2-space jump, jumping 1 is a little bit more solid. And that way, they do something like this. The shape actually looks a lot better. And then it's just 1 stone. It's not a whole area. And you see all the amount of cutting points black has? So black's not nearly as happy with it. So it's a lot better to use. Now, I'm not saying to memorize that variation. Don't ignore that variation. Just know that Aji exists. And if you don't want to deal with it, a 2-space into a 1-space is a lot easier. Which is why I said earlier I was getting I was like 2-space and a 2-space, maybe I should do something. So if you want to fix, just go here, 2-space and a 1-space. It's really solid. This would be very nice for you to have. That way there's no real Aji that you can't handle, hopefully, at this level. Okay, so I played elsewhere. Left side is the largest framework, so I built it while also reducing. So I played a large framework, and here's the second large framework. So build while reducing. Shoulder hit. If I wanted to reduce, I could play shoulder hit on the inside. I could play a cap. If I wanted to just build, shoulder hit just builds and jumps build. If I wanted to just seal, if I was a territory player. So I don't talk about this very often, but the Clossi approach tells you to build the largest framework because it puts a lot more emphasis on the center. But there is another style. I think a lot of people do it. I've seen a lot of my students do it simply because they don't understand the center yet, which is the territorial style where you go like this or like this, where you just go for points and then you just reduce the center later. Like when your opponent gets the center, let's say you just get the territory and they get the center, then you just reduce it. And so you never really control the center. You just have more points than your opponent, and you either reduce or invade them. And you kind of get attacked a little bit more, but it's another style. If you're really good at invading and reducing, it's another style. I just think it's a lot more fun to attack things in your area than being attacked. And I think a lot of players underestimate the center, so I teach them the center like really early on. That's why I say build the largest framework, don't seal the largest framework. I think it's more useful early on, and also teaches you a lot about the center and how to reduce and invade and blah blah blah. Because if you take the flip side argument, if you only make points but you don't know how to reduce the center, all of a sudden you're like, oh, he's getting a lot and I don't know how to deal with it, because you don't understand the center. So even if you play this other style, you still have to understand the center. It's not like you just avoid it. It's just you pick what you are more comfortable with. That's style. But if the center is important, you can still play on the center. So that's why I teach the center first, so just build. Shoulder head's a great way to do this. It builds while reducing. The response is here, 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 here. And then later you can like reduce this area like this, because I know you like clamps, but then double digit QA is this, and you just sacrifice it. There's also this, and then a slide if you wanted to deal with the top. So the top's not a lot, but that center is very nice. Okay, so that's technically the response. I just blocked and then jumped. So at this point is where black starts making a really big blunder, which is black is playing on his framework instead of my framework. So mine is bigger than black's. So black should be playing on the largest framework. You should be doing this too in your games. If your framework's not the biggest, then don't play on it. Play on the biggest framework. Don't play on the second biggest. Don't play on the third biggest. Don't play on the one that's your favorite that looks pretty. Play on the biggest framework. So here I just play solid. I could have also gone like right here, but I don't want to just sacrifice if I don't have to. If I don't have to sacrifice, then I'm just gonna do that. And that's the variation I was talking about. And I'm not really scared of it. Oh, the wedge was this. That was what I read in the game, and that's why I wasn't scared of it. But I just fixed because I've already invested 1 stone to block this top side, so why not? Okay, so I lean. I'm not worried about 1 cutting point because I control the area, so I'm fine with the fight. Clamp is interesting because if I go, then he goes. Now it looks like the same thing, except I'm already cut. So if you compare that to this one, here white has the advantage of the fight. Here white is a little bit more uncertain. That's how the clamp works. I'm really surprised he played it. I'm really surprised you know how the clamp works. This is not double digit Q. So I wouldn't recommend this until like single digit Q. If you wanted to reduce here at this point, maybe just play on the line of influence. You could also cut right here if you know the Joseki. Or you can play anywhere on that line, just reduce. Just walk in. But it's getting a little bit late already. Like, you're already a little bit late in the reduction. Okay, I could have pushed here because technically this cut goes nowhere. So even though I have 2 cutting points, it's not bad for me. So I could have jumped right here and kept my line, but I think this is more basics. Or this is more double-digit Q shape, I think. Alright, so I push it back up. And here, you push, but you didn't cut. I mean, the cut's bad for you, because we just do the same thing again. But normally you don't push if you don't cut. I'm still waiting for black to do something. I think it's really, really late. And this is what I mean. This is maybe black's biggest mistake, is right here. The left side is maybe difficult to handle, but not impossible. Like, you can invade or reduce. Like, you can invade right here. You can invade right here. You can try a really, really deep reduction invasion. Something like that. But I also can counter it like that. You can try just a simple reduction like right here, right here. But the more moves you spend fixing me, or the longer you take to get to it, the harder and harder it is to invade. Now this top left side is pretty much mine. It's almost mine completely. Now even a Dawn player would struggle to invade. Like, where do you go? Like, where do you go? There's nothing to do. Yeah. So I think you just took too long at that point. The Aji here is if he cuts and walks up. Normally, I want to defend this, and this can run away. Like, so I can do that. I can actually turn first, and then threaten the corner. So here, maybe I could do something like that. But imagine there's a stone right here. Now, let's imagine there's a stone right here, and I ignore. Well, now maybe he doesn't know me yet. Now maybe he just pushes and blocks, because that stone hits my head. So now pushing from behind actually works because it sets up a Hane. So I know that this stone is affecting me, so I fix my cutting point. Defense first. And here I just block, and then now mine's done. Now mine is territory. It's not a large framework, it's a large territory. So now I'm going to the next large framework, which is now black's. So now I go in. and I just invade. Yeah, there's not really much you can do. If you wanted to, maybe this is the best you could do, something like that. Maybe start a fight, and then try to activate something over here. Maybe that's the most exciting thing you could do at this point, but yeah, I just lived. If you play this way, you're supposed to play like this. That's what you're supposed to get for that cut. But if you just fix me, then you lose the end game in the corner. I just reduced, and started Yosei. Yep, I think that's everything I want to talk about. I think that's all the stuff. Yeah, pretty straightforward game. He tried to invade, which was reasonable. Like, you have no choice, you're gonna lose. And I just blocked. So yeah, eyes space. If I block this way, he might make eyes in the corner. So take away the corner, and then attack from the second line, reduce the eye space, and there's no escape route. So even if he runs, I don't care. Where are you gonna run to? Yeah. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I think the way you would mess up like this type of cut is if you play here, and get super aggressive, and then boom, boom, oops. That's what you got to be wary of. When they cut like this, you got to check it, and then make sure like you're checking weaknesses first and play defense first. So I saw liberties. If I just boom, oops. So defense first. Got to watch your own weaknesses. That's the way this stuff works. Is you don't watch your own weaknesses and then something activates. All right, to answer a question in chat, can an OGS 13Q on a 19x19 at age 22 expect to progress to Dawn, giving the start at an age of 21? Okay, I don't care if you're a new player, like a brand new player just learning the rules. If you're 22 years old, there's absolutely no reason you can't make it to Dawn, given enough effort and time. Now, how fast you make it to Dawn is dependent on you and several other factors. But can you make it to Dawn? Absolutely. I really believe that everyone can make it to Dawn with just given enough time. I think the younger you are, the easier it is. 20s is very young. So Dawn is not impossible. The younger you are, the easier it is. The less you've been playing, actually, the easier it is, because you have if you've been stuck at single digit Q for many years, there's a lot of habits you have to unlearn before you can make progress. Which is actually, I have several students that I'm working with that are a little bit older. Yeah, the 67-year-olds that have been playing Go for decades definitely have a disadvantage, but still very possible to get to Dawn. It's just harder. So, a 22-year-old, absolutely, you have a much easier chance to get to Dawn than, say, a 67-year-old. However, a 13-year-old can get to Dawn a lot easier than a 22-year-old. So, I mean, it's just how it works. The younger you are, the better. Funny enough, a 22-year-old can get to Dawn easier than a 5-year-old. But a 5-year-old will have an easier time getting to pro than a 22-year-old. So there's all kinds of interesting things in that. But yes, you can absolutely get to Dawn. I think everyone can get to Dawn. Dawn is just learning the basics of the game. Like, I think a lot of people underestimate how deep this game gets. So Dawn is just learning the basics. It's just, I think a lot of people underestimate how many basics there are. There's just a lot of basics and a ton of discipline discipline like that you probably have never experienced if you've never had a profession in something else. Um, a lot of discipline, like being consistent with the basics, being able to recognize which basic it is consistently, being able to consistently have good habits instead of bad habits, like always read the cut, don't just play the cut, like don't just play a knight's move without checking the cut. That's a bad habit. If you're consistently playing a knight's move without checking the cuts, you're consistently playing a bad habit. However, if you're consistently playing a knight's move while after checking the cut and knowing that it doesn't work, then you have consistent good habits. So consistency and discipline is another factor. Um, I think that's all that is. The rest is just time and study. Definitely proper study makes getting done a lot more efficient. So they say it takes 1,000 studious hours, like 50% play, 50% study, basically 1,000 hours of playing Go to get to Dawn level, and then reviewing your games, asking for advice, and doing Go problems, etc. 1,000 hours to get to Dawn level. However, if the hours are not as efficient, this is where talent comes in, I guess. Is how efficient are those 1,000 hours? Did you just blitz for 1,000 hours, or did you solve Go problems, study your psyches, and play thousands of games? Okay, so there's a difference in how you utilize those 1,000 hours. But theoretically, it takes about 1,000 hours. But I would say it takes 1,000 high quality hours. Yeah, so you've played about 119 by 19 in your life. I think you need probably like 2 or 3,000 19 by 19. Okay, like I said, just a matter of time. It's just a lot of time. So my goal for you would be 100 Go problems a day, 1,000 games for in a year, like 1,000 games in 6 months to a year. Yeah, so 1,000 1,000 good hours. So you can maybe play 1,000 games a year, 2,000 games a year, 100 Go problems a day. Okay, do that for an entire year. You should be close. At the very least, you should be close if you don't already get it. I would say the fastest way to get to one Dawn, the absolute fastest way, if you have no bad habits and you're naturally talented, the fastest way to get to one Dawn is 10 games a day, 100 Go problems a day for a year, maybe taking 1 day a week off, 2 days a week at most, off to take breaks. And then maybe like every 3 months or whatever, you take a week off to do something else to get a break and recharge. And then you do that for a year. That'll get you to Dawn really fast, faster than anything else. But at the same time, game reviews are kind of are expected in that. You're expected to like learn something from each game. Like for example, in this game, I talked about how I have thickness right here. I am not going to waste moves in here. I am hoping for my opponent to invade. Why? Because if I don't know how to deal with it, I want to learn. Okay? I want to learn how to deal with this invasion. So I'd rather lose a game and gain experience with fighting this invasion. So that way, in the future, 1 year from now, I will be able to know exactly how to deal with this. And so, how to get from where maybe you are as a viewer to saying, oh, I'm very scared of my opponent invading this, to where I have no fear of my opponent invading that. I could care less. I know I can kill it. How do you get from where you are to where I am? Experience and practice. Okay? That's what it is. I've played thousands and thousands of games. Okay? How do you get there? Practice. Okay? Understand that if they have no escape route, attack from the second line. Okay? They invade, you mess it up. If you don't understand why, maybe you made a mistake, maybe there's an exception for one specific shape, maybe there's a cutting point you didn't see. If you don't understand why, get it reviewed. Find out why it happened. Understand, and then you know what to look for. Like, for example, if you played this, and then they did this, and you did this, and they did this. Well, all of a sudden, you're like, now I'm scared of my opponent invading me. Okay? Now I'm terrified of it. If you want how to pick up less bad habits, review your games. Like, if you notice the bad habit forming right off the bat, especially if you have a teacher and stuff, they'll tell you immediately when a bad habit forms. Game reviews. That's how you stop bad habits. How to develop good habits is books, lectures, teaching games, etc. That tells you what habits to build. But how to prevent bad habits, you're going to form bad habits. That's going to happen. But how to minimize that is game reviews. So if this happens and you're like, oh, I see, this is why I don't trust giant moyos. It's not that the giant moyo is the problem. It's that you missed a cutting point. You missed a squeeze to Suji or something, right? If that is what you're struggling with, guess what? That's Liberty type Go problems, squeeze plays, shortage of liberties, etc. These are Go problems. And then how to recognize it in a game reviews, and Go problems. Okay? That means this is something that your eyes are not trained to see yet. So train your eyes to see it. Go problems. And how to know the timing of it, read cutting points and liberties in the game. And then in your game reviews, the more you look at this in a game review, the easier it'll be to see in a real game. Okay? So I recognized it immediately and was just like, no, screw that noise. I'm just going to play here. I didn't say, oh, you lost the point, I'm going to block and then die. Like, that happens, okay? I did that many times. Okay? It just takes practice and reviews. Losing is how you get to 1-dan. Okay? You need to mess this up. And then practice. Losing is how you get to 1-dan. Okay? You need to lose games, and then you need to review and understand why did you lose, learn from that loss, and then you'll be stronger next time. Okay? I think that's the big difference on the one who is strong is the one who has lost the most, but the one who has lost the most is not necessarily the one who is strong if you don't learn from your losses. I think I made that sound all sagey like, right? Okay. Yeah, so that's my advice from this game. So that'll conclude our 19Q to 15Q. So the next section is going to be 14Q to 10Q, or basically how to wrap up your double-digit Q and go into single-digit Q. Okay? So what we're actually going to be doing for 14 to 10Q is actually going to be the exact same thing that we're doing now, but rather we're going to analyze our opponent's moves a little bit more. So I guess you'll get a little bit of game reviews out of it. But the idea is how to identify, if you're 14Q to 10Q, it means you're doing something right and something wrong. So what you need to do is learn how to identify, how to identify which basic are you missing. Or do you have any bad habits? Okay, something like that. How to identify what is it that you're messing up, and then how do you learn that thing? How do you identify what am I messing up, and how do I learn it? And then practice. Because 14Q to 10Q already have single-digit Q moves. It's just not all of them are single-digit Q. Some of them are not single-digit Q. Some of them are not basic. You got to figure out what it is. Like this game, I would say all of these moves in this area is single-digit Q. All the shapes are single-digit Q. The problem is they were in the wrong section of the board. So the shapes wasn't the issue for this player. It was largest framework. Okay? That's something to learn from it, right? And we're gonna for the next section, we're gonna talk about how to identify that in each of the games. And we'll just give you a few examples, of course. But yeah, it's pretty much it. We pretty much have, like, at this point, you have all the knowledge to play like a single-digit Q. The next section is going to be talking about how do we figure out which of the knowledge that we're lacking. Maybe we think we have it, but we don't. We need some examples of reviewing games to talk about how do we identify what we're missing. Okay. Game reviews also help with that. So yeah, that's it for this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And as always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I look forward to see you guys next time. And that is it for the YouTube video. All right, so we have about 20 minutes left of my scheduled stream, and I'm going to pretty much just do Q&A for 20 minutes, and then I will get off and take a break. But we do have the class tonight. The class is open for everyone. It is on the Discord, which if you're not on the Discord, just go to Clossi.live, the website, Clossi.live, and that will, the social media links gives you the Discord. But that'll be at 5 my time, which is right over there. The door, that's what I need to point to, the door. No, the fridge. I need to point to the fridge. It's right over there. My clock is at my fridge. That's where the clock is. It's right over there. That's my local time. 5 o'clock. We will be doing a class on Discord. I will be streaming it, but I'll be letting you guys ask me questions through Discord voice chat. So, headphones, please. That is going to be showing off what the $25 tier on Patreon will be getting. Okay, Q&As. Any Q&As? Q&As. Anyone have any questions that I can answer? Let me get some water, actually. I'm out of water. I don't know what I would do without this water machine, man. The amount of water I drink out of the water machine. I know what I would do. Actually, I do know, because I did it before. I would have a crap ton of water bottles all over the place. When I was streaming many years ago, before I got this water machine. Before I got the water machine, I got packs of water, and I'd go through like 5 or 6 water bottles a day. And I actually still prefer water bottles over the water machine. It's just easier for me. But the amount of water bottles I was leaving around and the amount of money it cost was a little bit disheartening. So the water machine's definitely nice. I drink so much water. How old was I when I first started playing Go? I was 17. Nice. Which pro are you reviewing? Or just, are you reviewing by year, by pro, or what are you doing? You started playing when you were 17, Buzzsaw? Wow. How cool. You know, I actually look forward to the day, I'm not rushing it, of course, where I'm actually in your shoes. Um, I want this to be taken the best way possible, because I know like my mom's sensitive about her age, so I don't want to be taken the wrong way. But I look forward to the idea when I'm like been playing Go for 50 years and I'm helping all the young people with Go, and I'm introducing young people to Go, and I'm just like I'm a regular at Go Congress. I guess I'm already a regular at Go Congress. Um, but like I'm a regular Go Congress. I've been doing it for decades. I've already been playing Go for a single decade, and I feel like so invested in the community. And I can only imagine like 5 decades of Go and being and like the amount of stories you have with your Go experiences. Like I've I've been to Congress several times. I've been to Korea. I've traveled around the states. I've met a lot of Go players. Like, and that's just 1 decade. I can't wait to see the stories that I have with another 4 decades of Go. I really love Go. I really love being involved in the Go world. So many nice people. Yeah, that is true. The Go is actually a lot more active now than it was way back then. Because I've heard stories about people sending letters to each other, telling each other their moves. So that's like the old the old man's correspondence game was the mail. The internet definitely helped Go. Oh man, that's terrifying. I mean, that's like up there with the levels of like the people played Go during like the Hiroshima incident. Not quite there, but like they literally were playing Go. The bomb went off, destroyed the building, and then they resumed the next day as if nothing else happened. Like the game's more important. For Go players, the game was more important than. Oh, they replayed the game. I thought they picked up where they left off. I Yeah, basically they stopped for the day when the building exploded. Yeah, okay, yeah. So they stopped for the day when the building exploded. Okay, we're done for today, but we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, but pros can replay it from memory, easy peasy. Yeah, so you driving through a hurricane, I'm like getting like for an amateur, that's probably like the height or as close as you can get for an amateur player of dedication to the game. Driving through a hurricane. I don't know if I would do that. I don't think I would. So the Japanese title holders during the Hiroshima bombing were playing a game for the title, and when the bomb went off, the force from the explosion, they were far enough away that they didn't die from it, but the force from the explosion like basically pushed in the wall and knocked them both out. Like so it kind of knocked them both out. Um so they had to stop the game, but then they resumed it the very next day. They just resumed the game. And I'm like, World War is happening. An entire city just got nuked. But this game still has to happen on these dates because Japan is like religious about this. Well, no, they don't stop Go players. They delay Go players. Okay, let's be honest. That's what happened. The atomic bomb delayed the title match. That's what happened. And it didn't even delay it hardly at all because they just picked it up the next day. Um, but the title matches have to happen on specific days because of their history. What would my dream Go board be if I could order anything? Oh, it would be the Shinkaya Go board that title holders play on. You know, the big thick one. Like one of my dreams is to get like me a small building and make it look like the Japanese title match room that you see in Hikaru no Go. They have one in the Seattle Go Center as well. But yeah, that really nice thick floorboard. Um, and then like the basically the top title match set. That's my dream board. um, One day I might get it, but before I get that, I think I want an AI board. I think I would use the AI board more than I'd use that. I want that one when I get like done building my house. I'm gonna build my wife a Dungeons and Dragons room, and I'm gonna get a Go dojo. I really want the AI board sounds so cool. Um, what I'm gonna do though, after we build our house, we have the knowledge of building buildings. We're going to get my wife and I are gonna get our own fun building. She's gonna get a Dungeons and Dragons room, gaming room, and I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get a TV and put it in the thing and stuff and set it all up. But we're gonna get a Dungeons and Dragons room, and I get a Go Dojo. Um, that's I don't see a reason. Like I think we'll do it. I think we'll do it. Might be in like 10 years, but I think we'll do it. Buzzsaw. um, I think like to be fair, Buzzsaw, if you had the AI board, I think enough people on the internet would be willing to help you out. Yeah. Villicom, you don't speak Chinese, right? But you were able to figure it out? Like, you could ask Villicom, Buzzsaw. Like, Villicom would be able to help you out. Was Kifu distributed to soldiers? I'm not sure about that. I know I know a lot of Go players. Like Kifu used to be the way people kept up with what was happening. Like right now we have the internet, we can just look up the games, we can see the games live and stuff. But back then it was only distributed by Kifu, via newspapers and like the Go World magazines. You know what? There's one thing I've always wanted to do, and I think I would actually be profitable to do it. I want to write a Go magazine that that gives you the Kifu of the modern like pro games and stuff. The problem with it, there's so much copyright involved. It's really annoying. So much blasted copyright involved. But I would love to make a Go World magazine. I would totally subscribe to that. There used to be one, but I think there wasn't enough people subscribed. But I'm like, I don't think they marketed it on the internet. They used to. They used to. It doesn't exist anymore. But like, I would subscribe to that. I think oh, you know what? You know what? The AJ has always been really bad about selling memberships. There's the membership, right? Instead of being like, oh, it's $35 a year, be like, oh, it's like $15 a month, but you get a Go magazine and you can participate in tournaments. I would be an AGM member for that. I mean, marketing, man. Marketing. You're a lifetime member? Um, I don't know if I'll ever be one. I am not the AJ's biggest fan recently. Um, I if it changes directions in the next 5 to 10 years, I will become a big fan. But at the moment, I can't support the AGA as it stands right now. There's a lot of stuff. I think it's probably not proper for me to talk about it on stream though. But there's a lot of stuff the AGA does or doesn't do that I'm not a fan of. Now the AGA itself is still a great thing. Um, I think what it's done is amazing, but I think it's done. I think it needs either something new or something. But what it's done and accomplished is amazing, but it's not doing anything good now for the future. Yeah. I have a lot of opinions about the AJ. We had AlphaGo. Okay, that was better than the Queen's Gambit. We had AlphaGo, and every Go organization benefited. AlphaGo actually did a ton. I think AlphaGo grew the community by like 30 or 40%. It was impressive. AlphaGo really helped the community. I think OGS and KGS numbers doubled. Yeah, Hikaru no Go is what got me into Go, but Hikaru no Go definitely created the first wave. AlphaGo created the next one. I don't see why we wouldn't get a third wave. As long as people keep trying stuff in the Go community throughout the world, why would there not be a one-hit wonder again every like 10 years? 10 to 20 years. Shut Up and Sit Down's review on YouTube. Wow, that's actually, you're the first one I've heard that got into it from that. I'm so salty they picked Incente instead of like mine, man. Mine are bats. I like it. I'm so happy that they actually checked a YouTube. That's really cool. But why does Incente's come up like first on? I don't understand why that one came up first on the Google search engine. Like I put so many hours into my YouTube channel, and I'm like, come on, I pick me, man, pick me. I was also salty during the AlphaGo that Chris Garlock got to work um, with the Redman for the Google stuff, but from Google's perspective, I understand it. But then on the AGA YouTube, you also had Andrew Jackson work with um, uh, Kim Myung Kim, and I'm over here like, what about the people who have been doing YouTube streams and Twitch streams for like the last 5 years or the last several years? I would have been happy with Basco. I would have definitely loved to do it. Heck, even like Steven Zhu was streaming at the time. He would have been a good choice. But they picked two people that barely, like Andrew Jackson, I think barely streamed, and then Chris Garlock never streamed before. And yeah, he's the editor of the e-journal. So I kind of understand it from Google's perspective, but like we put in a lot of effort. Why are we never picked for things? Why are the Twitch streamers never picked for things? It doesn't make sense. We put in so much effort into the online community. Why are we not picked for things? And I'm really salty about it. Like no one cared about us until COVID hit actually. And then all of a sudden we became more prominent, helping out with the e-congress and stuff. Now, with that being said, they did ask for my help to help them stream Go Congress, and I actually enjoyed that. I actually really enjoyed being a part of Go Congress's live streaming team. I do enjoy that. Yeah, that is definitely one of the problems that I have an issue with, but it's not just that because I attempted to fix that and I got shut down. So I attempted to educate and give things and make things for others and do things for others, and I was shut down. So, yeah. Um, Zoo actually is doing a lot of stuff right now in China and behind the scenes with the AJA. Zoo is working very hard to do a lot of stuff for Go. And I actually I respect what he's doing quite a bit. I kind of disagree with some of the stuff that he supports, but I completely respect the amount of work he puts in for it. Like he's a really hard worker. I actually really like some of the stuff that he does. He's a good guy. He's definitely a good guy. And he puts in a lot of work. He's gonna be like one of the big people that helps. He's one of the people that helps the Go community for sure. Cause he's great. All right. So that'll pretty much wrap up today's stream. So thank you all for watching who watched today, and thank you again, Squeaky, for volunteering today. The stream will actually be up on YouTube if you guys wanted to watch that. And then, of course, I'll edit and upload this one within the next couple weeks. Don't forget to check out at 5 o'clock, my time up there. 5 o'clock my time, and so in an hour and a half on Discord and on live stream. I'll be live streaming it too for the first month. We will be starting our class. The class theme for this month is 3-3. We're gonna talk about it. I have the idea of like the problems I want to show. I haven't. Yeah, I'm sorry you're late, Ziad. Trying to set up live streaming for the mini games. Yeah, if you want all the equipment, yeah, it's a little bit a lot. Um, I don't think it'll be as professional as Ensong's, but I also want it to be a little bit more personal and more Q&A instructive rather than a straight up lecture. So it's going to be a little bit of a lecture, a little bit of concepts with a lot of Q&As, I'm hoping. It'll be in Twitch and on YouTube. It's at 5 o'clock my time. And you can check it in the Discord, and I will be streaming it. All right, so that'll end today's stream. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Thank you all for the follows and the support and blah, blah, blah. Check out, shout out to my Patreon, patreon.com/Clossi. This is how I make my living. So if you guys don't mind, be sure to check that out. Bada boop and bada boop. It's how I make my living. So seeking students, and the class will be for the $25 tier and above. This month is free, but this will be showcasing what the class is and stuff, and also letting everyone join and get an idea if they want to sign up or not. But patreon.com is how you can sign up for all my stuff and benefits and supporter reviews and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.